G'day and welcome to episode 8 of Let's Get Fiscal, the official podcast of the Australian Employment Party. My name is Ian Dooley. I'm here again with Tim Jones.
Hello, Ian.
And before we get started, just some quick housekeeping as usual. You can find out all about us at our website, australianemploymentparty.org. You can tweet at Ian Dooley, that's IAINDOOLEY, to tweet at me, or tweet at FourthLeft2 for Tim. And use the hashtag OzMMT, that's OZMMT. You can also search Australian Employment Party on Facebook to join our group, and you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. So with that said, let's get into it, Tim.
Marvellous. Yes, it's been a big week for everyone.
It has. And usually we do a bit of a wrap-up about what's been in the news. Pretty obvious what's been in the news this week. It's the election.
And things are on a knife edge at the moment. It's been very interesting. I didn't wake up depressed this morning, which is good.
Yeah. So it's pretty obvious what's been in the news, but what I wanted to talk about this week is something that has been conspicuously absent from the news throughout this entire election campaign, and that is Indigenous Affairs in this country.
Yes.
So it seems as though all parties have just forgotten this issue. It's certainly not something that people appear to be paying attention to when they vote. Which is crazy because we have issues like youth suicide, deaths in custody, poverty, malnutrition, lack of educational services, lack of health services, soaring unemployment in mid-double-digit unemployment in some of these communities, and just overrepresented in Indigenous populations Australia-wide. It's crazy how bad the situation is for Indigenous Australians.
It's really, really tough, and we have a large Indigenous community here in the Taree, the Manning, Upper Manning, and there are very real issues, and nobody's really looking at it. Nobody's really coming up with some good ideas. And one thing I've always thought about what we're doing is actually presenting a progressive party. We are actually the genuine progressive party, and of course, the reason why these situations get stuck in the mud is because people aren't making progress. They haven't got any insight. They don't have any way of looking past what are really, it seems to me, I don't know, they're just irresolvable problems.
Yeah, so I don't know whether it's that people have put it in the too hard basket maybe, or if it's just, politically not popular or politically toxic. I don't know what it is, but there's just a real underrepresentation. In Parliament, we did have the first Indigenous woman ever elected into Parliament this election, which is great news. But there's a long way to go in terms of policy. Now, we've had a couple of people point out that we don't have much on our website about Indigenous Affairs. To be fair, we don't have much about policy at all. We have we've taken a very lightweight view of policy. We want policy frameworks, but specifically for Indigenous Affairs, the reason that we don't have a lot written about it is because we don't know a lot about it, or we don't know enough to put together really comprehensive, effective policy. That would be genuinely helpful, and rather than cut and paste. Snippets from Wikipedia or other parties or whatever to put together some sort of rush job, I would rather wait until we have actual representation on the executive of this party.
Well, we certainly don't want to be glib at all about this issue or many other really important issues. And I think I spoke to you a while ago. I think I've actually got somebody who is perfectly suited to helping us with this in my community here in the Seat of Lyne. So we are looking to progress in that area, and we're taking it on board. We are just a couple of white guys.
Right.
No apologies, but we are. So there you go.
Right. As if a couple of white guys should be coming up with policies for Indigenous Australians. So until we have Indigenous representation on the executive, I don't want to try and do anything more than state the obvious, which is in terms of health and unemployment. What we have now is unacceptable, and more to come.
Yep.
So that's and also more generally, just on that note of us being a couple of white guys, the next person who is on the executive of this party cannot be another white guy. We don't want to fill it up with people who look and talk and sound like us.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
and we're not looking for tokenism. We just want this sorted and to move on.
Yeah, right. That's it. So in terms of the executive recruitment, that's going to be slow. We want to do it right, find the right people, and not just cast about for in terms of tokenism or in terms of just filling it up with people that look and sound like us. In terms of party membership, though, that's where we really want to push.
That's right. We are looking to become registered. We need 600 people, verifiable people, so that we can put it towards the AEC and become registered, and then be able to move on to the next stage, which we think is nation building.
That's right. And so we've got about 50 people now, and what we need really is everyone. We're going to be sending out emails. We're going to be putting this on the Facebook group and Twitter. But we want people to be getting out there and speaking to their friends about the party, because now we can register. The election's done, or we'll be in a couple of weeks. But what we need to do is we need to tell people how to speak about the party, because you and I know, and everyone in the Facebook group knows that you go to a dinner party, you start talking about modern monetary theory, and the eyeballs all glaze over, and it's you become unpopular pretty quickly. So. Yep. Really, the best way to speak about this is not about the theory. The theory is there to back up the claims, right? The theory is there if you need it. About the deficits, about bond sales not being borrowing, about the government creates money when it spends, about controlling inflation. All of those things are there. You can use those to explain and justify where you're coming from. But really, what we want to talk about is full employment.
Yes, and really people's lives, everyone's life. This is about everyone's life being better, every society, every community being better, operating out of this neoliberalist framework that people have suffered for so long. They think, what's happened to our society? Well, I'm sorry, it's neoliberalism, and it's got old. It's old. It's stale. And honestly, there is a way that we're talking about that we can and. People can speak to it. Just you can drop it into a conversation. I think we're hoping to get that to that point, aren't we, Ian?
Yeah. So I think that when you're talking to people about this, when you're recruiting people for this party or telling them to go to AustralianEmploymentParty.org and sign up, you can click to join and put in their details. They get on the email list. You want to emphasise that the government did have a policy of full employment, and that during that time, from 45 to 75, unemployment rarely went above 2%. People are not lazy. People want to work, right? It's obvious, because when the government pursued a policy of full employment, we had people ready and willing to work. Yeah. So we want to dispel these myths about, we need more training. Unemployed people just need to change their mental attitude, whatever. No, that is absolute bunkum. We need the government to be out there providing the jobs, because the private sector has never, in the history of civilization, as long as in a monetarized economy, no private sector has ever produced full employment or anything even close to it.
No, and in fact, unemployment has been used as an anti-inflationary factor, hasn't it, by neoliberals? They have actually wanted.
Yeah,
they wanted people to be unemployed, so that helps them their idea of how the market works.
There's a term, right, and this is not anywhere near being crackpot conspiracy theory, because there is a term that you can look up that is in the common economic parlance, and it's NAIRU, NAIRU, and it's non-accelerating inflationary rate of unemployment, something like that. Anyway, this is the myth, the mythical number below which you're supposed to get accelerating inflation if unemployment gets below that. And governments have specifically kept people unemployed in order to avoid this fictitious inflation that might occur. And it's a number that changes. How can it be fact if it's not constant? So, it's ridiculous, and it has been used as a policy tool. It has been used as a tool to control inflation, much to the detriment of our society. So that's the way to talk about it.
Yeah, it's been very, very negative. It's been very negative, and people have been whipped for it. And I wonder why we can't go somewhere better. Now we're up to the 10-minute mark, Ian. What do you think?
Yeah, I just want to say to people, expect big things from us in terms of promotion. We're going to put on an event. We want to get some prominent modern monetary theory economics people along to that event. We're going to be planning that over the next couple of months, so listen out for that. If you know anyone who is female, LGBTI, Indigenous, who is really interested in politics, tell them to get in touch with us, and we want to open those dialogues with people who aren't white guys. But more importantly, start telling everyone you know that we can return to full employment. Tell them about the website, and let's get people signed up so we can get registered.
Sure, it's not pie in the sky. It's perfectly realisable, I'm convinced now. It's taken me a little while to come to terms with what we're all about, but I think I'm certainly getting there. I'm sure you'd agree. Now, okay, and how are you going to finish, Ian?
Well, that's it. Let's get this party registered. Let's get this party started, as they say. AustralianEmploymentParty.org. Click to join. Start talking to people about it. Use the terms full employment. Remind them that we used to have full employment. That's the way to talk about this. Don't lead with the modern monetary theory stuff. I'm here to tell you it doesn't work.
That's right, and it's not just us. It's not just you, is it, Ian? Like we've got Bill Mitchell, who's established that it's a world-renowned policy, theory and subject. It's not just us crackpot white guys blithering on YouTube.
No, it's not. Okay, no, yeah. So stay tuned and let's get hustling.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, thanks. See ya.